It is a little known story that LeBron James almost ended up with the Memphis Grizzlies. It was mainly because the 2003 NBA draft class turned out as one of the most legendary batches in league history. Everything else, including the what-if situations, was overshadowed. Nevertheless, it is a good time to look back on that wild draft lottery night where Jerry West, then the Grizzlies general manager, shared his thoughts on almost picking another iconic basketball player in LeBron James. On draft lottery night, the Grizzlies had a mere 6.4% chance of getting the first pick. The Cleveland Cavaliers were the top favorites with 22.5%, followed by the Denver Nuggets, also with 22.5%. The Toronto Raptors were at 15.7%, the Miami Heat were at 12%, and the LA Clippers were at 8.9%. The Raptors and the Heat were assigned the 4th and the 5th pick respectively, while the Clippers got 6th. This meant that someone had moved up the lottery, and when the Denver Nuggets got the 3rd pick, it then placed West's Grizzlies in the most interesting spot. Show host Mike Tirico summarized perfectly to West and the viewers how the next envelope could shape the Grizzlies franchise. Jerry West: if your Memphis team gets the number 1 pick, you got the obvious dream in this draft. But if you get 2 or 3, you don't get anything. Mike Tirico said. This was due to the Grizzlies' trade in 1997 for the 35-year-old Otis Thorpe, a decent big who played just 47 games for them. The pick was number 1 protected, and so if the Grizzlies got the first pick, they would keep it. But anything less than that, they would have to send it to Detroit. This was a grave mistake and a lack of foresight by the pre-West Grizzlies front office. If Memphis did end up with the first pick, there was no question West would pick James. The St. Vincent St. Mary standout was the consensus pick by almost all analysts. And even if West lived in a cave, away from the know-it-all analysts, he would have still picked the kid from Akron. Nevertheless, West expressed no regret in missing out on James. When you get down to these situations with a player of the magnitude at 1 or 2 in the draft, it would have been an enormous addition to our team. Enormous. West said right after the lottery, "I think there are 3 or 4 kids in this draft that are going to be tremendous NBA players, and more importantly for the city of Memphis and the Grizzlies coaching staff, if we'd have gotten the number 1 pick, we would have gotten a real special player," West said, per Sports Illustrated. Of course, the man was right. 4 kids did have legendary careers: LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. Feeling bad for West isn't the correct sentiment here. After all, he's also the man who courageously traded for a 17-year-old Kobe Bryant. West was also an executive board member when the Golden State Warriors started winning titles in bunches. Of course, West is also responsible for getting Kawhi Leonard and Paul George joined the LA Clippers. West already has a hefty resume. That little wrinkle involving LeBron James, which is not entirely his fault, won't hurt his legacy he already built as a player. West was a perennial top 5 player in the league in the 70s. The LA Lakers legend was a 14-time All-Star for all the 14 years he played in the NBA. West also went to the finals 8 times and was the only player to win the finals MVP while playing for the losing team.